Good morning, or whatever time you happen to be watching this. Day 11. How did it get to be day 11 so quickly? I'm determined not to cause too much damage today, so I've got a glove on because I keep scratching my hand on the, do you know, it's going to have to do this. I'm sorry, but it's, you got to be cruel to be kind. Oh, very 7%. Bloody hell. Well, this will make tonight. Last night got a bit, started with a Kolsch. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to this. I'll do a talk about it later, obviously, but at the moment, got to get that in the fridge for tonight and then fix the box. Right, just gaffer tape it all up. Right, see you tonight. Whew, grabbing a quick 10 minutes. Today has ended up being taken up by lots of other things. Crumbs. Where are we? It's just gone 1. So I'm going to have a bit of lunch, coffee, and then I've just watched one of Chris's videos, Harry Brew 69, that he popped up last night. YouTube, you didn't inform me. I've even clicked the little bell and everything, but he has put together a really cracking little video about making an underback. Now, what is an underback? I covered this in a few videos back. Essentially, it's a way of getting a drip from a very, very slow sparge, exceptionally slow sparge, drips into the top, via the Valentine arm, which can be adjusted to different heights depending on how high the grain bed is, to maintain the water level just above the grain bed. But then that drip goes into a container with 2 float switches, and Chris's little diagram last night, bingo, yeah, fucking right, easy, you know, just like common sense. But I wouldn't have put it together without his kind of like little diagram that he did. It just kind of like, as soon as I saw that, yeah, easy, right. So that's a job for tomorrow, maybe, or Sunday, depending on how much crap I've got to pick up from today, which might flow over into the weekend. Now, he's using a couple of duckbills. I think he calls them crane bills. I think they're the same things, float switches. Simply latch onto a relay, and it takes for both switches to be off and then the relay to stop relaying. So I'm going to put it in between the control panel and this pump here, and I'm probably going to move this pump over a little bit because it doesn't need to be there. Give me a little bit more space. And then I'm thinking, now he's using a 50 litre keg. So he's got a 500 litre mash tun into a 50 litre keg. With this, I'm going to be about a 50 litre in the 100 litre kit. 50 litre, so I want a 5 litre underback. Those in the catering industry, and I use the term very loosely, might recognise these. We've got a couple, which one of them's knackered. It's a soup kettle, and one of them's sprung a leak. So I can quite legitimately steal the stainless steel inside, steal the stainless steel. I can take this bit, and I like it. That reflection is me. Doesn't it make me look thin? Can we just sort of like, can we feast upon that thinness for a moment? Sorry, distracted. So this is what I'm going to use as my underback, and I reckon, pop that up there for a minute. Once I've moved this, I can plonk this somewhere like that. Perfect height then to go into pump. Now, obviously, I'm going to need to get another tank connector just to come out of there. But I think then we will have just a short hose from the Valentine arm. I might even put a cam lock in the lid, because in the summer this will take, the idea is I want like an hour sparge if possible. So that's going to be kind of, even at 30 litre into here, that's going to be out exposed for an hour. So pop a lid on it, maybe put a cam lock. I've got plenty of cam lock fittings on there, and then that can sit there. That's the idea. So that's what I'll be doing over weekend if I get allowed, because of all the other rubbish that I've just been well, actually it's my own fault, continuing emails from publishers about these deadline things. Still don't get that. Yeah, so that's the ultra slow sparge setup going ahead, and if you want to see how it's done properly, I'll put a link underneath to Chris's video, to Harry Brew 69's video under there. Makes a lot of sense. Quick diversion. Got an email from the Canal and River Trust about the low water level in Sheffield Canal. Not actually sure whether or not we're floating here, but the water level is still substantially down from where it should be. And guess what? Mustn't grumble, it's still stuck on bottom. So I don't know how Canal and River Trust judge the amount of water in a canal. I usually go by where the water should be. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see, but that has now been a whole year where we haven't been able to move as boats. Thanks, Canal and River Trust. That was a bit of a shock. We're at the meadow. There's a JCB digging a big hole. Not sure what for. I did think when I arrived, because this whole place is up for development, and that was kind of knocked on the head when COVID kicked in. So hopefully this is just trying to find a water main or something. Find out in a minute, won't we, Marley? Well, that's rather disappointing. Just been over to have a little chat with them, and they're starting a survey to see what's underneath all this. About 14 foot of industrial slag, really. So it does look like time here is limited, Marley and boys and girls. I think we can safely say that the development will be going ahead at some point. So I want someone who knows about bat boxes. I think if enough of us get a load of bat boxes up here as soon as possible, we might be able to stop it. Any ideas, anybody? Anyway, on that rather depressing note, I thought yesterday, after mentioning the tasting beer by Randy Mosher, there's another wonderful book that I've got to recommend. That tasting beer, Randy Mosher, that would be the perfect Christmas present. It's in the description. A link to Amazon is in the description of the video I pooped up yesterday. Today, another audio book. I haven't actually bought the paperback, but it's a fantastic audio book. It's one of those wonderful things you can listen to on a long drive, or if you've got something mundane to do. It really does brighten your day up. And it's called Hops and Glory, and it's by a fantastic author, an amazing author called Pete Brown. There aren't many audio books from Pete Brown. He's quite well published, loads of different beer type brewing books, but Hops and Glory is one of my favourites for a number of reasons. It documents his attempt to reintroduce India Pale Ale to India. and follows, sorry Marley, I won't take any shots of you shitting. So he reintroduces India Pale Ale to India, but it involves brewing up a recipe in Burton and then taking it down the Grand Union Canal to well, I'm not going to spoil it too much, but let me tell you a couple of little interesting bits for me. One, it involves a narrowboat which turned out to be a classic example experience of new narrowboating for people who've never been on a narrowboat, and also involves the destruction of his mobile phone, which is also something that happens quite frequently on a narrowboat. The next is that he manages to take a keg of this beer brewed in Burton, and he's booked on one of these tall ships, replica old boat thing type holiday experiences. He's booked on there, but before he goes, he's staying at my favourite little town in the Canary Islands on Tenerife called El Medno, except he pronounces it El Medano. You get in and ask a taxi driver for that, they'll look at you blankly. So there's two of my favourites. There's a couple of extra things which, if you listen to it, you'll notice as being of interest to myself, not only kind of like IPAs. But anyway, I'll put a link to both the paperback and the Audible link underneath. It's one of my highly recommended books, Hops and Glory, and that's Pete Brown. Another rather disturbing observation is where they've marked quite a lot of areas here, mostly around the edge, but there's a couple of areas over here and there, so they're going to be digging most of this up at some point for their survey. Oh, Marley, hate the idea of having to go and find another wonderful place like this. This is literally 5 minutes around the corner. So I can't remember what the planning application was for. I know one of them was for 800 dwellings. Now, this ain't really that big. Oh, fucking depressing or what, eh? Right, bat boxes, people, how do we make this bat friendly? Quickly comment below. Oh look, I'm back. I've actually put MadeByMartyn back in its sort of place, and look, I have also, I'm ever so excited, boys and girls, because I was a bit worried for a moment. I've also put the Valentine arm together properly, and I've put this little, I'm not going to tighten it up, but this little cap just to stop any foreign bodies getting in. I suppose you could call it a Tory cap. Sorry, what have I done since getting back from walking Marley? Brought the mash tun in, put tri-clamp fitting on this tap, and what I noticed, and it really was a ball ache, was that the weight of this was actually twisting that. So what did I do? I got, sorry, I don't know if that's zoomed in or not, is it? I got a spanner inside and can you see that there? I'm not a filmmaker, you've probably guessed. So I put a spanner, I tightened that by wedging a spanner on here, onto here, because having two arms, never mind. So fortunately now that is a lot more steadier. So happier now. And also looking at it with this little shelf that I had here originally just for the plate chiller, if I need to block it up a little bit. I've only just mocked this up lightly, but that's probably then about the perfect height, because you don't want this. I could actually probably raise it a little bit more. Let's raise it a little bit more. That's better, because this is here is the bottom of the mash tun. The float switch is going to be sort of like top float switch is going to be somewhere like here. Bottom float switch somewhere like here. So then output from here is at about the same level as the pump inlet. Perfecto. Right, so then all we do is take a little hose from here down into here. I mean, this could actually be around the other way, couldn't it? I could actually turn that around so this is on the inside, straight down into there, like that. And then, wow, it all lines up pretty nicely. Good, so happy now. Cheers, Chris. The amount of my life that has been consumed by ideas from him is pretty good, actually. Now, what next? Better start building a control for this. I've got to decide whether or not I build it into here and then run leads from the underback, as if I just move this around, as I've done down there. Those are the PT100s, so I could actually put a couple more sockets down there and then run the whole thing from in here, because I've got a 12 volt. Oh, I couldn't I? So this is the pump. Turn the pump to on. I could have another switch light here. See, ideally that I'd have had two switches there, or perhaps a three-way switch. Well, this is sort of like a two-way. Think about that. Think about how I'm going to do it. Got plenty of room inside. I've got plenty of relays and relay sockets. Right, come back to that. It's that time. Oh, I've earned this today, you know. I've really earned this today, because what I didn't film was the last 20 minutes buggering around with two identically set PIDs, one of which is overshot by 16 degrees and the other one stays 0.1 degree under. Fucked if I know. So it'd be Inkbird manuals. I'm going to sit down, drink some of this with me Inkbird manual. But first of all, we need to get it into the glass. And I'm not sure quite how well my camera on my phone will pick up the colour of that. Whoa. First thing you notice, it smells hoppy. It does smell hoppy. Let's see what it tastes like. Little shout out there to Johnny at Brew Keg Tap. Oh. 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 That's perfect for a Friday. There's nothing I can say about this which wouldn't be just kind of like stupidly superlative, because you know that I like this brewery. But that is beautifully hoppy. It's got a beautiful balance of bitterness. I'm going to stop being a pretentious twat and just say, if you like this rubbish, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell, click the thumbs up, little likey thingy underneath, get your mum to subscribe, all your mates down the pub, well, when you're allowed back in the pub. Actually, just email them now or send them a Facebook Messenger thing saying, look, go and subscribe to this channel. I'm so sorry. Right, okay, listen, it's been a long day and I'm already a little bit doolally without any drink inside me. So I need to get some drink inside me. That's what I'm going to do now. Have a good weekend, guys. I'm going to try and put something together tomorrow, which will either be about PIDs or about the Underback. For now, you have a good night. Stay safe.